Good morning to all of you. That's very nice. You're all budding technocrats and budding scientists. In fact, the engineers have got to be more than scientists. Where normally the science and mathematics would end, normally mathematics people, after proving a theorem, they will put a QED, isn't it? And similarly, physics people, chemistry people also tell that the proof has been over. Either the experimental proof or the theoretical proof has been over. That is where the life of an engineer starts. That is where a technology starts. So if you have got to be a great engineer or a great technocrat, your foundations in science and mathematics should be very, very strong. That's the reason why you have got to be basically strong in the foundation subjects, and that's the reason why physics and mathematics are called as the parents of any engineering branch. Any engineering branch. Well, then you know that Science Day is a very conspicuous day because of its own importance, because of our salutation to the first Nobel Prize for Indian scientist for his indigenous invention. A part of it, most important you have got to understand is what C.V. Raman taught was not just science. Perhaps none of you might have seen the picture of C.V. Raman. I am very sure none of you would have had the opportunity to visualize how C.V. Raman was. So C.V. Raman had a very excellent laboratory in Bangalore. We were very young students when C.V. Raman was quite active. All right. C.V. Raman had a royal appearance. Okay, C.V. Raman used to have that Mysore Peta, and he would walk very royally. Oh, is there the picture? Okay, right. And C.V. Raman originates from Tamil Nadu. All right. Why am I telling all these things is, when C.V. Raman used to walk in his lab, particularly in the afternoon, in the corridor, nobody, including his own colleagues, nobody would dare to stand in the corridor. All right? He was both a human being and also a man who commanded a lot of respect. So, once an interview for PhD scholars took place in C.V. Raman's lab, and then I think about 6 scholars were finally shortlisted and they were invited for the interview. They were all given TA, for having attended the interview. They were given TA also. So none of the 6 candidates got selected. Nobody got selected. In the afternoon, after C.V. Raman had the habit of sleeping for some time, after having the sleep in the afternoon, he came to the lab. One young man was trying to catch the attention of C.V. Raman. He was surprised, who is so dare enough to catch my attention by making the eye contact. All right. Then C.V. Raman stopped and asked, I'm sure you are the person who attended the interview this morning and it has already been told that you have not been selected, and why are you still hanging over here? Then he said, very simple, sir, I've been waiting for the accountant. He has paid me 22 rupees extra. I want to pay back this 22 rupees. I know that I am not selected, but I want to pay back this 22 rupees. Then C.V. Raman said, it is not only you who was paid extra money, everybody was paid extra money, but I wanted to see who is more loyal. You are the only one person who has come back to pay that money. Now, you go and report to the lab. You may not know physics, I shall teach you physics. But you go and report right from today as the research scholar, because what is more required for a researcher is the loyalty. What is more required for a researcher is the truth-telling attitude. In fact, unfortunately, most of the researchers shall not tell the truth. If there is a plot, and if there is an outlier in the plot, instead of finding out what is the reason for the outlying point, they will vanish, they will eliminate that reading altogether, because that is not falling on the line of regression. They don't find out what is that making a big deviation. There shall be a reason. And the science, the curiosity, the reasoning ability, the logic lies in finding out what has been wrong with this point, but in a hurry to get a PhD, in a hurry to get a publication, they just eliminate that reading when they go to their guide. They don't even tell about it. The real hidden treasure is that outlier. All right? That's what C.V. Raman taught his students. That's what you have got to understand on the science day, that science of sincerity is more essential than science which gets you a stupid degree. Degrees happen. Oh, a degree should happen. Right? Naturally, when you get married, you have to get married. It happens. After marriage, children happen. But that is not the most important thing. And Indians are so lousy. The moment the girl is grown up, inka pelli kaleda. This is useless talk. All these are very useless talk. Pelli no ayipindi inka biddu kaleda. It is another useless talk. We spend time in all these nonsense activities than understanding what is sincerity towards the job, not even towards the job, towards yourself, towards your own self. The sincerity towards life is what is science, what is the basic essence of the science. So C.V. Raman was very particular about the sincerity. I'm very sure today you have been seeing a wonderful lady present amongst you, a lady coming from the roots of Andhra Pradesh, trying to cut across all people who pulled her leg, got into a bigger science, proved herself, established herself, in spite of so much of male dominance during that period, starting perhaps from her own family, people who were male, and still she has done it. And it's very apt that our male scientists here in the department could really go out of their way to invite a female scientist and recognize the presence of science even amidst female, which really needs an appreciation. This is very, very wonderfully timed that international, the Women's Day is very close by March 8th. All right? I would have surely postponed the Science Day to International Women's Day, and I would have had her on that day for both delivering the science lecture and the International Women's Lecture also. Because she's truly international also. Her origin, although is from humble Andhra, she was in Japan, And she completed a master's in Hyderabad, but later moved over to Japan for her PhD. And then we have got to understand now, alone she would not have done it. Somebody might have supported her morally. Somebody might have supported her morally, and surely it is a time for all the ladies also to recognize those supporting hands which really pushed up madam to go high in spite of lot of family difficulties. A lady, however rich she could be, she will have lot of setbacks, lot of difficulties, yet somebody would have supported her. It could be her husband, it could be her son, it could be her father, it could be her brother, somewhere. And ladies shall always feel blessed if there is such helping hand. Conversely, male should become those supporting factors. Right? That's the reason I very categorically mentioned that the male scientists here in Vignan had the courage to invite a female scientist on this day for National Science Day, which obviously shows our scientists, our faculty are not just scientists, they are all great human beings also. But you have the wonderful day, and today is also quite wonderful because incidentally you have a lot of free time today. You are blessed to have such a wonderful free time, and you are small in number also today. So you should spend quite a lot of time personally interacting with madam even after this lecture to get the motivation how, particularly being a lady, you can cut across all the fences and go high in your profession, truly to your profession, sincere to the core. I'm sure you will definitely be enjoying the lecture because in the few minutes that she had, I knew how attractive she could speak, how she could, draw the attention of anybody with a sincere talk. So thank you very much for calling me, and thank you very much for making me that I should come over here, although I had some other meeting. I said that, okay, I should accept this pressure, and I've been here. Thank you very much, and I wish all the great success for this National Science Day. Thank you very much.